guys, today I'm reading chapter 5 of Fantastic Mr. Fox. So let's read. Chapter 5, The Terrible Tractors. As the sun rose the next morning, Bogus and Buns and Bean were still digging. They had dug a hole so deep you could have put a house into it. But they had not yet come to the end of the fox's tunnel. They were all very tired and cross. "Dang and blast!" said Bogus. Whose rotten idea was this?" Beans said Buns. Bogus and Buns both stared at Bean. Bean took another swing of cider, then put the flask back into his pocket without offering it to the others. "Listen," he said angrily. "I want that fox. I'm going to get that fox. I'm not giving up until we have strung him up over my front porch. Dead as a dumpling. We can't get him by digging, that's for sure," said the fat Bogus. "I have had enough of digging." Buns, the little pot-bellied dwarf, looked up at Bean and said, "Have you got any more stupid ideas then?" "What?" said Bean. "I can't hear you." Bean never took a bath. He never even washed. As a result, his ear holes were clogged with all kinds of muck and wax and bits of chewing gum and dead flies, stuff like that. Ew, look at that. That's Bean, those disgusting things from his ears. Look at Bogus. He thought, oh my god, he was all tired. And here's Buns. This made him deaf. "Speak louder," he said to Buns, and Buns shouted back, "Got any more stupid ideas?" Bean rubbed his back of the neck with a dirty finger. He had to boil coming there, and it inched. What we need on the job," he said, "is machines, mechanical shovels. We will have to out in 5 minutes. The mechanical shovel." This was a pretty good idea, and the other two had to admit it. "All right then," Bean said, taking charge. "Bogus, you stay here and see the fox doesn't escape. Buns and I will go and fetch our machinery. If he tries to get out, shoot him quick." The long, thin Bean walked away with the tiny Buns trotted after him. The fat Bogus stayed where he was with his gun pointing at the fox's hole. Soon the two enormous caterpillar tractors with mechanical shovels on their front ends came clinging into the wood. Bean was driving one, Buns the other. The machines were both black. They were murderers, brutal-looking monsters. "Here we go then," shouted Bean. "Death to the fox," shouted Buns. The machines went to work, biting huge mouthfuls of soil out of the hill. The big tree under which Mr. Fox had dug his hole in the first place was toppled by a matchstick. On all sides, rocks were sent flying, and trees were falling, and the noise was deafening. Down in the tunnel, the foxes crouched, listening to the terrible clinging and banging overhead. "What's happening, Dad?" cried the small foxes. "What are they doing?" Mr. Fox didn't know what was happening or what they were doing. "It's an earthquake, Miss Fox." "Look!" cried Miss Fox. "Look!" said one of the four foxes. "Our tunnel is getting shorter." all looked around, and yes, the mouth of the tunnel was only a few feet away from them now. And in the circle of daylight beyond, they could see the two huge black tractors almost on top of them. "Tractors!" shouted Mr. Fox. "And mechanical shovels! Dig for your lives! Dig, dig, dig!" And here are the mechanical shovels, and they're crunching everything. Trees, bushes, and the bits of earth from the ground. It's very horrible. I don't know what will happen. Oh, and that's chapter 6. I hope you enjoyed chapter 5, and I wish you have a nice day. Bye.